The muffled voices of the villagers outside my shack. They fear what I have become. Upon my return from the fortress battle, I chose to become an immortal knight to protect them all. There are days I wish I would be purified, but the priestess of the fount must not be made to carry that burden any longer. After some time, I hear voices again. But this time, they belong to the white priestess and a child. The priestess, once but a child herself, now cuts a radiant figure. I no longer know the pleasures of joy. But despite this, my cheeks widen in a grin. When madness takes me, will this little one be made to carry the burden? I don't know how long my consciousness will hold out. But as long as I am myself, I will be a shield to protect them from harm. The pain I will endure is nothing compared to their suffering.
The defense of the bastion was the longest and most grueling battle I've ever fought. We staved off the blighted hordes, defended the kingdom, but none were left to thank us. Now we're trapped in our own undying shells, just like the blighted themselves. I've dreamt of dying on the battlefield for so long. Now I'll never die at all. I see a field of flowers coating the snow-covered ground all around me. The white priestess was the one who told me what these flowers are called. All I'd ever known was battle. The priestess broadened my horizons considerably. I was never one for long conversations. I never really knew how to talk to people. She would laugh as I struggled to speak, but never made me feel ashamed. Once the fighting has ended, we may never see one another again. Perhaps it would be better that way. The priestess said she loved this field of flowers. If any yet bloom, would it please her to gaze on them again with me someday?
Muriel, my assistant, my lover, lost to the blight. You never once laid a hand on me. You have proven firsthand that though the blight may trap us in an undying shell of impurity, it will never deprive us of who we are. I've tried countless experiments to bring it back to me, but it has all been to no avail. Thanks to my constant work with the blight, the immortal knights came to being. And now, even the white priestess suffers as a result of my work. Now that I've defied the king, surely I will be driven from my lab. Truly, I am a pitiable fool without you, Muriel. And yet, I mustn't give up now. Not until your life's work is complete. Not until we save the White Priestess. Please, Muriel. One day. Let me hear your voice again.
As the kingdom approached oblivion, its subjects became deathless abominations. My brethren fought on until madness consumed them, or the rain did. I managed to stave off the corruption of my mind and found myself in the throne room. My blade held over the king I was meant to protect. He shook and blubbered in exasperation. The priestess and the knights who gave their lives for the kingdom were disposable. This was where the king's obsession with immortality had led us. The king's words, dripping with greed, were the palpable lament of his corrupt heart. It was plain to me, as the blood pumping in that heart also flowed through my veins. I too had not fought to protect the kingdom or its people, but my own interests. I only wish for him to admit he had been wrong to abandon me. Sure enough, as I held my sword over him, his eyes were fixed only on me. I had been waiting for this, waiting for our eyes to meet for the very first time.
The all-swallowing blight flowed out from the earth around us. I took the priestess, once of no consequence to me, in my arms, and we made our escape. Chased by blighted fiends, we wound up somewhere most morbidly ironic. Fate delivered us to the execution grounds, a place I know all too well. And something happened that day that I'll never forget as long as I live. The White Priestess of the Fount, down deep in the verboten domain. She who carries the burden of blight, who saved everyone I care about. She called out to me for help, saying, I who bear the burden of blight and suffer for your people. I have one humble request. Though our roles differ, we each are tasked with serving our kingdom. We are devoted to its protection. To that end, I must ask that you let no one violate these grounds. I was not worthy of being the priestess's guardian. I thought I had found a way to protect her from the blight. In the end, my only choice was to flee. The blight washed over the land like an ever-consuming wave. Sheep and shepherds at the cathedral alike all eventually became blighted. Now, my body feels not quite my own, a stranger within my own flesh. Foul mages and their blasted potion, I was meant to be her guardian. Protector of the White Priestess, now turned brutal killer. Madness? Is this the work of the blight, or who I truly am inside? Secret, if I could see you, before there's nothing left of me. You were the one I truly wished to protect. My beloved sister, I only wished...